Queen's Voice, Peter Kefalas back with you for another segment. So on this segment, unfortunately, it's going to be another segment of mayhem and violence here in New York City. So let's get into the story, guys. So this story, we're going to touch on a gang that we've spoken about many times. That's all over the news, not just here, obviously, but the vicious Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. But this one's going to be about the offshoot, the little kid gang that they've created out of the Roosevelt Hotel, Los Diablos de 42nd, which pretty much translates to the Little Devils of 42nd Street. Now, we've seen stories over probably the last year, 2 years, where these were the little stick-up kids, 11, 12 years old, pulling pistols on tourists and New Yorkers alike. A lot of women who were jogging got stuck up and whatnot. So this is an offshoot of the TDA gang that has started and is still based out of the Roosevelt Hotel from all reports available. So basically, there was a Fox video released the other day that showed 5 of these little kids attacking police officers in broad daylight, in uniform, by the way. So they're now linked to more than 300 crimes and counting. That's according to the city and the police report. And the incident pretty much started when one of these thugs tried to steal a woman's purse. And this is the video I was referring to that I saw on Fox released. And they pushed the woman up against the wall. So the cops came to the woman's aid, and they were immediately attacked by the gang members. And you could see on the video that they had thrown a basketball at them, glass bottles, a scooter. The 11-year-old or the 12-year-old anyway threw a scooter at the cops, and also rocks. They had thrown rocks at the cops. So this basically happened in the daytime. Look, it was pretty clear out when it happened. Tried to steal the woman's purse. Cops happened to be there. Tried to intervene. You can see the cops trying to radio for backup, but I don't think they were able to call quick enough. So one suspect, like I said, he's just 12 years old, and police say that this 12-year-old was the leader of the theft ring that we just spoke about in Central Park, where last summer he was been arrested many times and released many times. So 12-year-old illegal Venezuelan gangbanger, offshoot of the TDA gang, the younger ones, if you will, the Los Diablos of 42nd Street. He's already been arrested, and several of them also have been countless times. He was the leader of the stick-up crew last summer in Central Park, and now he's still back on the streets, most likely still being taxpayer subsidized at the Roosevelt Hotel, and now attacking 2 of our uniformed cops in a broad daylight attack with no fear, no care in the world. So I've said this many, many times before. If these little kids and their older counterparts are brazen enough, and we've seen it happen in Manhattan especially several times, they're brazen enough to attack the cops in uniform in broad daylight, or any time for that matter, what would they not do to the average citizen? I mean, obviously nothing. So, like we said, the 12-year-old was arrested many times, released time after time. And Border Czar Tom Holman says that this is just another example of sanctuary cities not cooperating with ICE. And he also said, if you're brazen enough to attack an armed law enforcement officer, you are much more dangerous to an unarmed civilian. That was a quote. So the 5 illegal aliens were arrested. 5 illegal aliens were arrested, but 3 were on the run. There was some different reports. Then they said all 5 were arrested. But nonetheless, another disturbing situation that shouldn't have taken place. And who do we have to blame with this? Failed policies. Look who runs this city. Mayor Adams has invited these people here to subsidize them. And then all of a sudden, in more recent times, when the Trump administration had put pressure on him and he was facing a lot of legal trouble, let's say, he decided that he wanted to be the crime-fighting mayor and, deport all these criminals after inviting them and subsidizing them and waving the sanctuary city flag that Comrade Bill was waving. He just pretty much took it and ran with it, unfortunately. So these are the consequences, guys, of who's running our city. And this is not going to get better. These folks aren't just going to pack up and leave. And it looks like they like to use these young kids because nothing happens to them. You can stick people up with pistols. You can beat cops up. You can do whatever you want pretty much. But if you're under 18, you're just going to get kicked back to the street and continue the mayhem and the violence and the carnage. And that, unfortunately, lies with those in power. Who runs this city? Who has created these laws? Who's brought these people here? Who's invited them? Who's used our taxpayer money to fund them, put them up in five-star hotels like the Roosevelt, only to have their base, their criminal enterprise base, run out of there? And it's pretty disturbing when you got kids 12 years old who are leading stick-up crews and now leading brazen assaults on NYPD cops who try to intervene and stop some poor woman from getting a purse snatch. So just to recap, they had rocks thrown at them, a scooter thrown at them, a basketball thrown at them, and glass bottles. And these are kids, at least, one of them, the leader's 12 years old. So the other kids didn't look to be much younger or older than this kid. Anyway, it just goes to show that we've got to be smart. November, if you keep voting for the same team, the same one-party rule that's caused this havoc, you're going to get exactly what we're getting now. It'll probably get worse. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think, especially our viewers here in New York. Have you gotten numb to this and just kind of accepted this is the city that we live in? Are you still upset? Do you see any hope for the city, especially if we don't change the one party who's running the city with an iron fist, causing this trouble? Anyway, if you haven't liked or subscribed or shared, please do so. It helps us out a lot. Costs you nothing. Takes a second to do so. Reporting with Queen's Voice, Peter Kefalas, as always. Stay safe and take care of each other. Thanks, guys.